Hello students. Today we're talking about the Crusades, or holy wars between Christianity and Islam. Now to begin with, what happened is you had in 1071 the Muslims take over Jerusalem and other Byzantine lands. This upset the Christians, so in 1095 Pope Urban II asked for a crusade or holy war to take back those lands. Now at first there were a lot of early victories. The Christians were doing very well. In the First Crusade, which started in 1098, they actually captured Antioch in Syria. They wore a red cross to symbolize Christianity and were able to recapture Jerusalem in 1099. Once they did that, the land that they had taken away from the Muslims, they divided up into 4 different states. Well, of course, after the First Crusade, there had to be a Second Crusade, because the Muslims began to fight back in 1144. The Europeans sent another crusade to try and regain this land the Muslims had taken back, but the Second Crusade was a total failure for the Christians. This sparked a Third Crusade. In the Third Crusade, a leader named Saladin had united the Muslims and declared war on the Christians. He captured Jerusalem in 1187. Because of this, the Europeans decided to send kings. So Richard the Lionhearted of England, Philip II of France, and the Emperor Frederick of Germany all went on this crusade. This crusade was a failure though, because Frederick drowned, Philip got upset and went home, and Richard ended up signing a truce. Now there were some other crusades also. In the Fourth Crusade, the merchants from Venice decided to use this as an excuse to weaken their rival, the Byzantine Empire. Now if you remember, we talked about how Venice had become very wealthy in trade, and if they could weaken the Byzantine Empire, then they would be able to have the monopoly on trade in that area. So they attacked Constantinople. After this, there was actually 6 more crusades over the next 60 years. In these crusades, the Christians lost almost all the land they had gained from the First Crusade. Now there's many effects from the Crusades, and I'm going to talk about a few of the really important ones. Probably the most important one was it increased trade between Europe and Asia. The second one was it started to break down feudalism in Europe, which then led to kings of Europe building strong central governments. Because these kings now had strong central governments, this led to the rise of the great kingdoms in Europe, like England, France, Germany, and Italy, which we'll be talking about in a later chapter. I hope this is a nice short understanding of the Crusades, or holy wars between Christianity and Islam, and I look forward to seeing you in class.